Imagine Moscow's war machine grinding to a halt, not from a direct attack, but from a problem much closer to home, its own crumbling logistics. Abandoned trucks litter the highways, their engines cold, their cargo long looted or left to rot. Rusting convoys stretch for miles across desolate Russian roads, once arteries of power, now graveyards of steel. This haunting sight isn't just a mechanical failure. It's a symptom of something far deeper. A logistical collapse threatening to paralyze the very core of Russia's military might. What began as isolated breakdowns has spiraled into a nationwide crisis. Fuel shortages, spare part scarcities, and overextended transport routes have brought the supply network to its knees. Critical materials, from ammunition to food and medical supplies, are stranded far from the front lines, while desperate drivers abandon vehicles in the middle of nowhere, cut off from command and left without support. The result? An invisible front of chaos where logistics, not bullets, decide the fate of entire battalions. But this catastrophe didn't appear overnight. It's the product of years of corruption, neglect, and over-centralization, a system that prized appearances over efficiency. Maintenance budgets were siphoned off by officials, infrastructure projects delayed or falsified, and the once formidable transport corps hollowed out by incompetence. Now those long-ignored cracks have split wide open. The supply chain that once fed Russia's vast military machine has turned into a choking bottleneck, stranding not just trucks, but an entire strategy. As Moscow scrambles to patch its failing arteries, the question looms larger than ever. Can a superpower fight a modern war when its own roads have turned against it? The answer, scattered among the wrecked convoys and silent highways, may already be clear. Russia's logistical nightmare isn't coming. It's already here. The war didn't start Russia's supply problems. It just made them a whole lot worse. What used to be a shaky system is now falling apart under the pressure of constant fighting. Every tank that rolls out, every rocket that's fired, and every mile of muddy battlefield adds more strain. Russia's military depends on steady fuel, working trucks, and reliable deliveries. But right now, everything's breaking down. It's like trying to run a race with your shoelaces tied together. The longer the war drags on, the clearer it becomes. Russia's biggest battle might be with its own broken supply lines. Sanctions from other countries have made things even tougher. Russia used to buy parts, tools, and technology from abroad. Things like engine components, computer chips, and special oils that keep trucks running. Now, with trade cut off, those parts are almost impossible to get. Mechanics are forced to tear apart old, damaged vehicles just to keep others running. Each missing part leads to another breakdown, another stalled convoy. What used to be a simple repair has turned into a desperate scavenger hunt. And while the army takes whatever resources it can get, regular people are paying the price. Trains that once carried food now move weapons. Trucks that delivered goods to towns are stuck hauling supplies to the front. Roads are cracking and crumbling because the money to fix them has been spent on war. Some villages are completely cut off. No deliveries, no repairs, no fuel. In trying to keep its war machine alive, Russia is slowly wearing down the country itself. You can see it in the empty fuel stations, the broken highways, and the frustrated drivers walking away from their abandoned trucks. The war's impact isn't just on the battlefield. It's echoing across Russia, showing a country slowly falling apart from the inside out. Russia, showing a country slowly falling apart from the inside out. Across Russia, the signs of decay are everywhere. Roads are splitting open with deep cracks, bridges are starting to sag or collapse, and rail lines that once carried tons of supplies now struggle to stay on schedule. Trucks bounce over potholes big enough to swallow tires, and train cars sit idle for days because the tracks ahead are too damaged to use. It's not just bad luck, it's years of neglect finally catching up, all while the war pushes the system past its limit. Drivers tell stories of being stuck for hours, sometimes days, waiting for repairs or fuel that never comes. Some end up abandoning their trucks on the roadside, their cargo still inside. Mechanics say it's not uncommon to see whole convoys stranded because one bridge gave out or a key route flooded. Everything's falling apart at once, one logistics expert warned, pointing out that many of Russia's transport networks haven't had proper upgrades since the Soviet era. Now, with heavy military use and no time or money for maintenance, those cracks are turning into disasters. This failing infrastructure isn't just inconvenient, it's crippling. Every broken road or bridge means slower deliveries, more wear and tear on vehicles, and a higher chance that supplies won't make it where they're needed. What starts as a single detour can snowball into massive delays, leaving soldiers waiting and cities undersupplied. The result is a growing web of chaos, where even the most basic transport tasks turn into near-impossible challenges. Russia's roads and railways were once its lifelines, the veins that kept the country moving. But now they're clogged, crumbling, and collapsing under the weight of war. The more the government tries to stretch them, the faster they break. And with every abandoned truck and empty track, the message becomes clearer. The nation's foundation is giving way, one cracked road at a time.
If you've made it this far into the video, it means you're enjoying what we do here at Euro Bulletin. Take a second to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss more updates and insights from Europe and its partners. Let's dive in more into the subject.
When supply lines break, everything else starts to fall apart, like a row of dominoes toppling one after another. What starts with a few abandoned trucks quickly ripples through the entire country. Food deliveries slow to a crawl, store shelves go empty, and hospitals struggle to get basic medicine and equipment. Factories that build everything from tires to weapons run short on parts, forcing them to shut down or cut production. It's not just an inconvenience anymore. It's a nationwide chain reaction that's grinding daily life and the war effort to a halt. On the front lines, soldiers are feeling it most. Without steady deliveries, troops are running low on food, fuel, and even ammunition. Some units report being stranded for days, waiting for supplies that never come. Trucks that do make it through often arrive half-empty or too late to make a difference. Commanders are forced to make tough choices. Do they send scarce fuel to tanks or ambulances? Do they feed soldiers now or save what's left for tomorrow? Every decision shows how fragile Russia's logistics have become. Back home, these breakdowns are paralyzing entire industries. Farms can't get fertilizer or spare parts for tractors, leading to smaller harvests. Power plants struggle to replace worn-out components. Even simple goods like bread, sugar, and soap are harder to find in some regions. As shortages grow, public frustration is spreading, and with it, questions about whether the government can keep the country running while fighting a long, costly war. Globally, Moscow's weaknesses are becoming impossible to hide. Allies grow uneasy, rivals grow bolder, and Russia's once intimidating image of strength looks more fragile by the day. Each stalled convoy and broken bridge isn't just a logistical failure. It's a signal to the world that the cracks are spreading fast. The war was meant to project power, but now it's revealing a different story. A nation struggling to hold itself together, one broken supply line at a time. If this logistics mess keeps going, Russia's future looks rough. An economy can't run without steady deliveries. Factories slow down, workers lose jobs, prices rise, and families struggle to afford basics. Investors pull back. Small towns shrink because trucks stop coming, and big cities feel constant shortages. Over time, that adds up to weaker growth, less trust in leaders, and more stress on everyday life. What happens next? There are a few paths. One bad scenario is the downward spiral. Roads and rails keep breaking, repairs fall further behind, and shortages spread from the front lines to supermarkets, schools, and hospitals. Another path is quick fixes. The government throws money and emergency crews at the worst bottlenecks, patching key highways, rebuilding a few bridges, and prioritizing fuel and spare parts, which helps for a while but doesn't solve the deeper problems. The best, but hardest path is real repair, cutting corruption, opening supply routes where possible, training more mechanics and drivers, and fully funding long-term maintenance. That takes time, discipline, and tough choices. For the military, the message is simple. No logistics, no power. Troops can't move, machines can't fight, and plans fall apart without fuel, food, and parts arriving on time. For the country, broken supply lines mean more than traffic jams. They mean empty shelves, frustrated citizens, and a weaker economy. That makes Russia easier to pressure from the outside and shakier on the inside. In the end, big ambitions collapse if the basics fail. You can't project strength abroad when your roads at home are crumbling, your trains are late, and your trucks sit abandoned on the shoulder. If Russia can't fix its foundation, the cracks inside will do what no enemy could: bring the whole plan down from within. What would it take to turn this around? First, the basics have to be fixed. For real. That means repairing the most important roads and bridges right away, not just patching holes. Trains need working tracks, fresh parts, and clear schedules. Trucks need fuel, tires, and mechanics who have the tools and training to keep them running. And supplies must be tracked better, so food doesn't sit in a warehouse while soldiers and families go without. Next, the system needs honesty. If money meant for maintenance keeps disappearing, nothing will change. Strong, transparent rules can stop waste and make sure repair crews get what they need. Opening up to safer trade routes and new partners for key parts could also help, even if it's slow and limited. And training more drivers, engineers, and logistics planners, paying them on time and keeping them safe, would rebuild the backbone of the supply chain. Finally, priorities must shift. If every truck and train is pulled into the war effort, the home front will keep breaking. Some capacity has to be saved for hospitals, farms, and factories, or the entire country will grind down. A system that feeds only the front lines will starve everything else. The bottom line. A strong nation isn't just tanks and rockets, it's roads that don't crack, trains that show up, and trucks that deliver on time. Right now, Russia's foundation is shaky. If it doesn't rebuild that foundation soon, the collapse from inside will keep spreading. And when the base fails, the biggest plans, at home and abroad, fall with it.